Welcome, welcome. So happy that you're here. Appreciate the connection and wanted to really focus on 5 bottlenecks that slow down your firm's growth. I'm Loren Fogelman with Business Success Solution, showing accounting professionals how to double their income while working half the time. Well, the topic for this came because I got a message from Michelle, and she was saying that she can't imagine being a business owner and not having any struggles. And her biggest challenge in her firm is focus and follow through. Primarily, she wants to get as much done in as little time as she has available to her because she has other responsibilities as well. And the time that she does have, she wants to make it count. So she realizes that she's not as organized as she ought to be and wants to know how to improve that focus and follow through. So I would love to know from you, what are some of the things that you've done to really improve your focus and follow through? And please go ahead and share them below. But a lot of times when that happens, what I see is that there are things that you start, but you don't go ahead and finish them. That means that you have a pile of things that have gotten started, and the pile of things that have finished is a lot smaller. So it creates overwhelm. It's on your mind. You know that you have these open things that actually need your attention. This leads to kind of mental clutter, not just clutter in your workspace or on all the tabs you have open on your computer, but it leads to mental clutter as well as inefficiencies. And I believe that your accounting firm is only as strong as its weakest link. That's true for all businesses. And a lot of times that means that if there's a problem with focus and follow through, there is some type of bottleneck, something that is keeping you stuck, that's getting in the way, that is preventing you from moving it forward. And most often as firm owners, we tend to be the biggest bottleneck in our business. So here are 5 bottlenecks that actually affect focus, follow through, and slow down your firm's growth. The very first one, perfection. Basically, this is your business. You created it from scratch. You want things to be perfect. That includes the client experience, the processes, and the work that you deliver at the end of the month. So I will just say perfection rarely happens. It's actually a form of procrastination. And instead of seeking perfection, I encourage you to seek excellence. That means that there's room for improvement. And one of the things I talk about in my coaching group with the accounting professionals I work closely with is a concept called build the plane as you fly it. That means that you go with good enough and you make course corrections along the way. So if possibly you're thinking about adding to your team and you don't have your processes down yet, you don't have systems in place, and it's definitely not written down anywhere or filed, then that means that you're holding yourself back. What you want to do is actually bring on that team member once you find the right fit for your firm's culture, bring on that person, and that will then force you to develop processes along the way. So that is an example of build the plane as you fly. Go ahead and add to your team, bring on that person. The processes will come as a result of you having taken action. The second thing that happens is comparisons. A lot of times we know that there are so many other people, some close to us, some far from us, that do something similar to what we do. And we tend to look at what other people are doing and then look at that in comparison to ourselves. Well, a lot of times we tend to compare up. And when you do that, you often might believe that you're not good enough as a result of that. The tendency, like I said, is to compare up instead of comparing down. You want to look forward to where you're going, which makes a lot of sense. But when that happens, then it might cause envy. You might get really self-critical. You might go ahead and feel even lower confidence because of someone doing better than what you're doing. And I want to say this is a mindset shift that I learned a long time ago when I first started out is, yes, it's okay to compare up, but instead of having that create envy or where you are then being self-critical, what you want to do is take the mindset of, if that person can achieve that result, then I can too. It is evidence that it is possible for you to achieve that result as well. So that is how you want to look at comparisons. Number 3 is firm owners, business owners. We are control freaks, the majority of us. Some of us are recovery control freaks or working on it along the way. And that is partly because you have done everything yourself. You believe that you can do it better than anybody else, and that delegating some of your work to somebody else in your firm means that you give up some control over the quality of work, whether they follow your exact process or not, and that might feel like a risk, especially if you don't want to have a potential client coming back to you and saying, what happened? How come this mistake occurred? And then that might be a difficult conversation for you. So I want to encourage you that it is impossible, let's just face it, to grow when you're doing everything yourself. You eventually hit what I call that upper limit challenge, where you're maxed out on time. And when you're maxed out on time, then you are maxed out on revenues as well. What you want to look is to grow a team that is smarter and better than you are. People who play at the things that you struggle with or that bore you. Maybe if you're not the follow through because you're more of a creative in your firm, then you need someone on your team who is an organized follow through. So that is something else to think about also. But let's get out of our own way, because if we are control freaks, we are definitely the bottleneck in our own firm. And find people who play at the things that you struggle with. The 4th thing is serious business. Let's just face it, as a business owner, something always needs your attention. And as soon as you maybe correct one thing, then another thing just pops up and takes its place. It's kind of like laundry. As soon as you finish that last load of laundry, somebody is throwing dirty socks into the hamper. It is never ending. So when that happens, you might find yourself working too many hours, 7 days a week, 70 hours a week. I just talked with someone earlier today that was in that exact situation. And when that happens, then you're sacrificing your personal life in order to serve your clients and have a business. That is not the reason that you decided to go into business for yourself. We want you to have a business that increases the quality of your life instead of detracts from it. So what we want to do is focus on the things that you do best, that you enjoy doing, so that you find joy in the work that you do once again, and then be able to get things off your plate onto somebody else, which are the things that are below your pay grade, that you don't enjoy doing and need to be done, or with someone who can do it better and faster than you can. So that's something to think about as far as serious business. And then the last one is mistakes do happen. Let's just go with this. If you're not making mistakes, then you're staying in your comfort zone and you're probably stagnating. When mistakes do happen, which happen in everybody's firm, I can let you know that I probably have paid for a Harvard education because of my mistakes. So that is just one of the things that happen as business owners. We all make mistakes. It's part of the process. And my greatest insights have often come on the heels of a mistake or a failure, and that I was able to then look at it, look at where there were successes, and look at where there was room for improvement or adjustments, what I call course corrections. So I just want to say, when things don't work out as you wanted them to, look at the whole thing. There were many small successes tucked into that particular outcome, and also figure out what went wrong. Then figure out how you would approach it differently the next time, and possibly write down the system or the procedure that you would like in place. This is what I call a discovery process. So those are the 5 bottlenecks that affect focus, follow through, and your business growth: is perfection, comparisons, control freaks, having a serious business that just continues to take all your personal time away and is no longer fun, and realizing that mistakes happen, but you see them as a zero-sum game, where it is a way that is a reflection on you as opposed to a learning opportunity. And the bottom line is your mindset influences your focus, your follow through, your firm's growth. So pay attention to the bottlenecks in your firm, because once again, as firm owners, it's often us. And realize that growth does occur as you work through your limits. If you find that you took something away from this conversation, please go ahead and share below what that was. Let me know what you took away, what you resonated with, what maybe really affirms something that you're already doing. Would love to hear from you. Would love to know what your questions are that I can go ahead and answer as well. Love doing these training videos for you. And if you're ready to take charge of your firm instead of having your firm take charge of you, then send me a private message and let's go ahead, meet, talk about how to grow your dream firm, engage quality clients, and increase your revenues. Loren Fogelman, showing accounting professionals how to double their income, working half the time.